All right, welcome back to this episode of Mathmeotics. We're going to talk about section 1-2 in the Pearson book, solving equations with variables on both sides. We've been dealing with variables only on one side, and then we've been handling constants on both sides of the equations. Well, honestly, with the variables on both sides, it's not so different than if we have constants on both sides. The only difference is this little key term right here. And I'm going to highlight it for you. I'm going to change my color. It's called the identity. And an identity is an equation that is true for every possible value of that variable. For example, we have here x plus 1 is equal to x plus 2, or x plus 1, sorry. That is an identity. If for any value that I plug in for x, it will always be true. So it's the same equation. We talked about the axioms, the algebraic axioms, and we had the identity under addition and the identity under multiplication. And the identity under addition, if we have 1 plus 0, or a plus 0 is equal to a. And the order of 0 and a doesn't matter. And then under multiplication, if we have a times 1, that's going to give us a. These are identity. It will always be that value. Okay, so that's why that concept is so important. We can also have, in terms of when we have variables on both sides, we could potentially get to the point where we have no solution. Okay, and we'll show some examples in talking about that. Okay, solving equations, it's got this big caption here. I'm not really going to worry about that so much. We're going to go straight to the meat. All right, we have an equation here, problem number 1. Variables on both sides. We have 5x plus 2 is equal to 2x plus 4. So I'm going to highlight my variables. I have 5x and 2x. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to highlight my constants. Some of you, it gets really messy and you can get kind of lost in this. So always try to start with the same steps. There's all kinds of different ways that we can solve equations, but we always want to keep consistent in how we solve this. I personally usually start with my variables. Okay, I want to get all of the variables on one side and all of the constants on the other side. Okay, so, and I also thought process, I want to keep my variables constant, or not constant, I want to keep my variables positive. So if I were to move here, I have 5x and 2x. If I make 5x a zero pair, that means I'm going to subtract it. And I'm going to subtract it from both sides, and that's going to give me 2 is equal to negative 3x plus 14. So now I just made my variable negative, okay? I can do this, it's okay. But I don't, it could potentially get me confused, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and subtract the 2x, because 5x minus 2x is going to keep my variable positive. Okay, so then that's going to give me 3x plus 2 is equal to 14. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and move my constant. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. I'm making my zero pair because that becomes 0. So now that's going to be 3x is equal to 12. We're going to divide both sides by 3. So then that's going to be x is equal to 4. Okay, now we have, this is one solution. Oops. There is no other value of x that this equation will be true. Let's check, right? I'm going to plug this back in. We're going to check our answer over here. Okay, I'm going to have 5 times 4 plus 2 is equal to 2 times 4 plus 14. So 5 times 4 is 20 plus 2. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 14. That's going to be 22 is equal to 22. This is true. And it's only true for x is equal to 4. So we have one solution. All right, now problem number 2. This is solve the equation using technology. We'll talk about that in class. I can't really show you on here. I will do this video or do a video on this in the next one. See you then.